Nawal and Jeanne were just doing a presentation. What was it called? 3 women taking over the podcasting business?
Yeah, something like this.
Where's the third? She got away. Where is she? We have 2 here. That's
She's
good
still
enough
on
for
the
me.
stage.
She's still on the stage. Now, the interesting thing is we're at a radio and broadcasting conference, but the 2 of you have no background in radio or broadcasting. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely, and we are here.
We're still here after
still
5
here.
years. We're both, yes, 5 years.
So you both have one thing in common, well, a lot of things in common, but the main thing is that you started your own business. Tell me the name of your business and what it does.
CALLIOPÉ is a branding podcast agency, so we produce corporate podcasts. Only 100% of our production are for brands, like global, international brands, and we do that since 2019.
Give me an example. A brand comes to you, they have a new product or service, they want to advertise it. Why would they want to do it through a podcast, and what would that sound like?
The key thing is they don't want to advertise. They want to create content, which is the most important thing, because in podcasts, who wants to listen an insurance podcast?
Yeah.
Nobody. So we try to work on the slow content, and content is the key fact. So we try to find a trick, a format, a very specific format to find a targeting audience. So it's something different. It's brand content, but it's not like advertising. Advertising
Yes.
is other thing.
Okay.
So it's different
So
market.
it could be like, I'm thinking off the top of my head, I know Goldman Sachs in New York have a podcast, but it's just great conversations with people brought to you by Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, definitely. We have to cast like amazing guests for that, and they maybe gonna share their vision about the industry, the perspective, and their experience and expertise. So it's something different than just talking about the product of Goldman Sachs.
So you feel like there's a takeaway value, that you're getting something from it.
Exactly, because brand has so much to share because they are experts on their industry and they have a lot to share. So we try a format to share this content and messages.
And Jeanne, what's the name of your company? And you do similar, but a little bit different.
Yes, exactly. My company is called Oh Wow, and we are based in Austria, in Vienna. And we do corporate podcasts like Nawal, and we also do original podcasts. So everything with focus on female voices, strong female voices. Yeah.
Give me an example of the type of voice you would do with a strong female voice.
We have a philosophy podcast, for example, with the most famous philosopher of Austria, Jeanne, or we have an Investorella podcast, which is about investing, so that women can be good enough to save money and not being taken.
Credit loans or something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And managing their own money. That's the most important thing.
And let me ask you, the podcasts that you produce then, the independent ones, are they completely independent, or are they for the public broadcaster in Austria, or who do you provide them to? What platform?
Right now they're totally independent, but we are also pitching right now to the public radio. So we have a lot of pitches going on right now, and we'll see where it goes.
Yes, that's a dance in itself. I like that you were doing the pitching is a dance. You want this? You can't have this. I'll give you this one. Get 2 for 1.
Exactly.
But for the both of you who are doing corporate podcasts, that must be challenging because corporations, famously have PR people and marketing people, and they are used to doing something a certain way, whereas when you might want to do something that's just an interesting listen, they might think, well, hang on, our branding's not all over this. It's like, why, you know what I mean? To get them from thinking it's not an advert, it's branded content.
Yeah, it's a collaboration they pick us because we are experts in podcasts, and so they want us to advise them. So it's just a collaboration, and we try to understand their expertise, their DNA, who they are, what messages they want to share. And at the same time, they trust us about how to make it and how to aim the goals we have. So it's a real partnership between us, and it helped to have very successful podcasts.
And Jeanne, how do you find listenership is and interest when you're doing corporate podcasts?
Sorry,
I know.
what did you say?
What's the interest like in the take-up from listeners?
From listeners, well, I think it's exactly like Nawal said. It's really important to do something special and not just not just wanting to sell something.
Yeah.
So our USP is do something a bit creative, something out of the box is not very creative actually, but something that's also maybe tell a story. We like to tell stories. We do a lot of storytelling podcasts for corporate podcasts. So that's pretty interesting because you can tell so much about the company and not bore the listeners.
Yeah.
And that's what we get. That's the feedback we get.
I like that.
Yeah.
Jack and Jill went for a picnic in their Mercedes-Benz. When they parked their Mercedes-Benz by the... It's like subtle.
It's horrible. Because the podcast is not like on Instagram, you have something on your feed, you didn't choose it, but you have it. Podcast, you have to pick your platform, streaming platform, you have to pick your podcast, you have to listen to it. So it's a lot of steps. So if we want something, if we want to have listeners, we need to be very captivating.
Yes.
We don't have the choice.
Yeah.
And the brand, I think, they understand that and they trust us to make it very well.
Yeah. We're doing the same. We're standing in front of a BMW car all this time. And it's so subtle the audience didn't even know. But subliminally, they're all going to go buy BMWs.
You get it. You get it. Totally that.
Hey, by the way, your first time at Radio Days?
Yeah.
What do you think?
For me, it's amazing for France to have all this ecosystem and to see how is it in Austria, how is it in Germany. So and to see like the industry growing up is like fascinating for me.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy to be there.
Where else would you get it? What's your Radio Days experience been like?
Great, but I was there in Prague last year, so that was pretty cool, and I wanted to come back. And it was really my dream to be a speaker this time, so that's really cool. And now we did it next to Nawal, so it's pretty cool. I'm pretty proud.
That's excellent. Well, ladies, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of Radio Days.
Thank you so much.